organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up today on this edition of Daily Iowan TV, smartphone recall. Find out if your smartphone is safe to use. Plus, learn how students are leaving their mark after a night downtown.
A five-time national championship team is coming into Kinnick Stadium tomorrow.
And we tell you why they match up so well against Iowa.
All that and more coming up. Daily Iowan TV starts now. Good morning and thanks for waking up with us for Daily Iowan TV's live Friday program. I'm Cole Johnson. Iowans prefer Trump over Clinton. That is according to a new Monmouth University poll released yesterday. 45% of likely Iowa voters said they support Trump, whereas 37% back Democrat Hillary Clinton. In Iowa, Trump and Clinton have been neck and neck, but this newly released poll shows Trump gaining a bigger lead over Clinton in the Hawkeye State. The Monmouth University poll was conducted on September 12th through the 14th and reviewed the opinions of 404 Iowa residents who said they are likely to vote in the election. Do you own a Samsung Galaxy Note 7 smartphone? Samsung recalled 1 million of its Galaxy Note 7 smartphones yesterday after users reported the device catching fire while charging. The company has received 92 reports of battery overheating in the U.S. alone, including 26 reports of burns and 55 reports of property damage from fires. The new Note 7 smartphone will be on sale on September 21st. Until then, users of the recalled smartphone can choose to get a free replacement phone, a refund, or a different device. On the other hand, Apple is finding itself in a much better position. Just 9 days after Apple announced its new devices, the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus hit stores today. You may be one of the lucky few to get your hands on the new devices because Apple has warned customers that some of the phones will be in short supply. Well, I hope I can go get a new smartphone, maybe get some nice weather in it too. Sam, what's going on?
Thanks, Cole. Today we see there being an 80% chance of thunderstorms, staying overcast throughout the day, reaching a high of 78 with it lowering to 62 degrees at night. Saturday, we see the weather clearing up for the Hawkeyes, being sunny all day with a high of 77 and a low of 54. And now for your 6-day forecast. We see the weather staying clear, getting up to 80 degrees, but lowering at night to 62. Monday, there is a 60% chance of thunderstorms, staying cloudy throughout the day with a high of 84, but cooling at night to 54 degrees. Tuesday and the rest of the week seem to be staying in the low 80s with relatively sunny skies. That's all for your weather this week, Cole. Back to you.
If you have ever walked across the bridge on Burlington Street to get to the west side of campus, you are bound to see downtown Iowa City bar wristbands tied to the bridge. Daily Iowan TV's Chris Cervantes reports on what this trend is all about.
In any college town, drinking is an inevitable aspect of weekend life. Businesses with liquor licenses are careful to turn away the younger students, but the U Iowa campus has a secret. This is no ordinary bridge. This is the location where the underage go before they hit the bars. Rumor has it that this is the home to a secret agreement, where upperclassmen will leave their bar bands on the bridge and underclassmen use them to get into the bars.
These bands have been here for weeks. Now the question remains, why hasn't the city done anything about them?
Is it problematic? Yes. I mean, I would hate for that to happen from an underage standpoint, basically breaking the law. But also from a littering standpoint, I just don't know if people are aware. A lot of our things come from complaints, and so, from that standpoint, I mean, it could be that it just hasn't come to our attention. But again, I'm just speaking from my point of view. That doesn't necessarily mean the city staff isn't already aware.
If this secret arrangement is in fact true, it means that all the work the administration has done to prevent underage drinking is for nothing. Reporting from Iowa City, this is Chris Cervantes, Daily Iowan TV.
Well, I've definitely noticed those wristbands walking over to Kinnick Stadium on football Saturdays. For more on that and this weekend, let's toss it over to Taylor and Katie in the sports studio. Guys?
Thanks, Cole. Now, we're used to seeing those bridges with locks for love in Paris.
Yep.
We obviously know what Iowa City loves, the bars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And me too, Cole. I see those all the time. Last weekend, when I didn't report the game, I saw those on my way over to Kinnick.
Yeah.
I had to laugh.
So funny. Well, I can't believe we are already in week 3 of the football season.
Me either. And with one more non-conference game left for Iowa, North Dakota State will not be an easy task.
The #1 ranked team in the FCS poses a Big Ten-like feel to them, a strong and hard defense with some offensive flash.
That's right. But the players know what they're up against, and they're ready for this challenge. I tell you more. North Dakota State is coming to Kinnick on Saturday, and even with a 2-0 start on the season, the Iowa football team is not taking them lightly.
This will be an excellent test for us. We got to make sure that we are preparing each day in practice in the film room, and that we're going out there and executing, and we're not taking these guys lightly, because obviously they can come in and they could beat us in our home stadium, and you obviously don't want that.
And let's not forget, North Dakota State is a 5-time FCS champion. So what can Iowa expect to see on Saturday?
And they got good players. They're really well coached, and they play hard. They play physical. To me, their style of football reminds me of the last 2 teams we played at the end of the season last year, Stanford, Michigan State. So it's a different kind of challenge for us.
And how exactly are they going to overcome this challenge?
Yeah, it's going to be tough to trick those guys, but as long as we focus on what we can do as a team and block and run hard and complete and run routes well, we give ourselves the best chance to win.
Can't make any mistakes, can't give up no big plays on defense. Offense got to convert the 3rd downs and make touchdowns. I feel like, like I said, they're going to come ready to play, and we just got to be on our A game.
We are now joined by Blake Dowson, a Daily Iowan football reporter on the print side. Thanks for joining us, Blake. First, let's start with the schedule. Last year, it was talked heavily about how little competition there was. As far as this year, how do you feel about Iowa's schedule?
It's not where it needs to be. Playing Miami, Ohio, Iowa State, and North Dakota State in the non-conference, it's not going to impress any selection committees. But that being said, I think the Hawkeyes are close to scheduling one of those big-time neutral site games.
Agreed.
With a team like Arkansas, I think makes sense. You have the connection with Brett Bielema, obviously. He used to play here. And I think geographically that makes sense, too. If you put the game in Kansas City or St. Louis, that would be somewhere in between. I think that's close to happening.
I completely agree. So now we switch to Indy SU. They come in, obviously, as #1 in the FCS. What do you see from them that might pose a threat to Iowa, either offensively or defensively?
Well, I think first, they're just a good football team. It doesn't matter if they're in the FCS or FBS. They're a good football team. You put them in a Power 5 conference, they're going to win a lot of games. In fact, they've won 5 straight against those FBS teams, which would rank the 5th longest winning streak in the country. Offensively, they do a lot of the same things Iowa does. They play with fullbacks, they play with a lot of offensive linemen, and they just want to beat you in the trenches. They want to push you off the line and gain a lot of yards on the ground. Defensively, they're a lot like the Hawkeyes too. They run a lot of sets, and they don't really have a star. They have a lot of guys that never mess up on their assignments, and they're always in the right spot. They're extremely well coached.
There are also a couple of Iowa players on that team too that we'll see on Saturday. So we saw the defense improve from week 1 to week 2, especially against Iowa State. And we now see Anthony Nelson sitting at #2 in the country with 3.5 sacks. What have you seen from the redshirt freshman and then Iowa's defense as a whole as they continue to improve?
Yeah, well, he's got the look, doesn't he? He's 6'7". He's got a huge frame, the right frame for a defensive end. The biggest thing from him is his motor. He just never stops. And that's what you like to see from a freshman like that. But he's still super raw, too. Up until his senior year of high school, he didn't know whether he wanted to play football or basketball in college. It looks now like he made the right decision.
Totally.
But he never stops. His motor, and he plays with tremendous leverage, too, for how big he is. For the rest of the defense, it was obvious against Iowa State they were happy to have Josie Jewell back. He's the signal caller. He gets everyone in the right spot. And having him on the field is obviously a huge boost. Another linebacker, Ben Neiman, is also huge. His versatility on the field, he can line up on the line of scrimmage and play with a lot of physicality, and he can also pick up a back out of the backfield, cover them out in the flat. He's really important to that defense.
Thanks for that, Blake. Keep updated throughout the game tomorrow on Blake's Twitter page at BR Dowson.
And for more of a closer look at the numbers we see from North Dakota State, Taylor hashes them out for us.
With the last non-conference game on the schedule for Iowa, it has been nothing but pure dominance. But for North Dakota State, they are coming off 2 overtime wins against Charleston Southern and Eastern Washington, proving they have a fight within them.
We watch those games and you can just tell even at the end of the game they're not panicking or anything. They're well executed and know how to win games.
North Dakota State saw their quarterback Carson Wentz injured last season, but they also saw him go 2nd overall in the NFL draft, making redshirt sophomore Easton Stick step up.
And the thing is, he's not a new guy. He played 8 games when Wentz was out last year, so he has experience. And yeah, like you said, he can move around and he can also throw it, so we're going to have to be ready for that.
He's a great runner, and he also knows when to throw it. So we got to be ready for that. We got to have somebody on him the whole time, and also be, have good coverage the whole day.
Quarterback, he's a very, very talented player. I feel like he's a dual threat in the backfield, and he will throw up some shots when needed.
Sticking with the offense, Iowa's defense will have their hands full with running back Lance Dunn. The sophomore is coming off all career highs with 128 yards and 2 touchdowns.
They like to run the ball downhill, a lot of shifts, motions, trades, all that. So we're going to have to be able to get them lined up and communicate well this game.
As far as their defense, they are fundamentally sound as they are led by middle linebacker Nick DeLuca.
Defensively, they play a lot like we do. They're very fundamental. They're very stout. They play well. They don't make many mistakes. So that's one of the big keys. To the game is trying to, make sure we don't make any mistakes either and see who can come out on top.
They're a really sound defense. They don't do anything, overly stupid. They play good, upfield. They play blocks and they play good defense. They're well coached, and you can see that on film.
Jaleel Johnson spoke about how important it is ending a non-conference play on a high note as they are just about to start their Big Ten Conference play next weekend at Rutgers.
That's right. Taking a quick look at injuries, it's looking like Parker Hesse will get some reps in at defensive end this week. He did not play at all last weekend.
And neither did center James Daniels. We don't see him on the depth chart at all, and I don't expect to see him play.
You can catch the game on ESPN2 tomorrow at 11 a.m. Then catch us afterwards going live on our Facebook page.
Don't forget that field hockey is home this weekend as well. Also, volleyball and soccer is too. So meet us back here Monday morning for the weekend rundown. Cole, back to you.
And with another Iowa football game comes another kid captain spotlight. The Iowa Kids Captains are kids who are selected by a committee from the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics to be an honorary leader for the team. This week's kid captain is Abby Hooper. She is 12 years old from Des Moines, Iowa. She has been diagnosed with Wagner's disease. Wagner's disease is a chronic illness that Abby will have to be dealing with for the rest of her life. She was experiencing symptoms back in October of 2014 when she started having swelling in her joints. It was in February 2015 when Abby received her diagnosis.
It is the inflammation of the blood vessels. And what happens is the blood vessels become inflamed and they leak out blood. So she was bleeding into her kidneys at first because that's where the majority of your small blood vessels are, in your kidneys.
Despite all the struggles that Abby goes through on a daily basis, she is still able to look and feel healthy.
We thought we had a healthy child, and it changed on a dime. And she looks healthy. To see her now, she looks very healthy. She has a lot of medication that she has to be on. Besides chemo, she takes low-dose chemo every 6 months.
Abby will be taking the field with the team during the run-out before kickoff. As next week marks the official start of fall, Colony Pumpkin Patch, located in North Liberty, plans to give a portion of its proceeds from the 2016 pumpkin season to the North Liberty Police Department. This is an effort to help fund the police department's goal of obtaining a K-9 officer. The pumpkin patch opens tomorrow. And that's all we have for you this morning for Daily Iowan TV. I'm Cole Johnson. Have a great day.